We have a short but mighty agenda today, so we'll do an intro to WeVideo in case you're new to the platform. And I'm going to be breaking this largely into two parts: our educator creator tools and student creation tools. And then we have lots of resources I'm going to point you to as well. So I'm going to just show this here, but I probably won't speak a whole lot to the specifics on this slide. But I think the easiest way to describe WeVideo as a whole, it has so many tools, is as an instructional video or a video-based platform with a huge range of options of how you're going to leverage it to make an impact for your student learning outcomes. My goal for this session, because there's so much to cover, my goal is to demonstrate the breadth and the ease and effectiveness of video learning in the classroom. So I hope you're going to walk away with an understanding of that ease and just the amount of material that can be used. But whether your focus is creating instructional material to enhance your current practices or finding ways to engage your students more, in my opinion, there's really something for everyone in this platform. Like maybe you want to engage students with questions throughout a video to ensure that they're grasping those learning objectives. Whether that's a video that you create in WeVideo or that you find somewhere else like YouTube. Or maybe you're hoping for learners to kind of climb to the top of Bloom's taxonomy into that creation mode to demonstrate their understanding. There's really that much that you can do with this tool. So we can create, we can enhance, we can engage learning. I really want you to walk away with just kind of a high level overview of the array of functionalities. So that's what you're going to see today. Not so much the depth, which there's a ton of depth to each of these kind of focus areas, but just getting an understanding, kind of like the lay of the land. So we'll start with those instructor creation tools in WeVideo. I'm going to be doing this largely in just demo format, so I'm not going to be giving you slides today because the value is really going to be in the demo and the recording of this. So I'm going to toggle on over here to my WeVideo account. And right here, I'm in my multimedia creation side of the house here. There's multimedia creation. There's also a section of interactivity. For some, not everybody has this, but just so you know, there's two that I'm going to be kind of switching between today. And when we're thinking about instructor creation, I'm going to be taking you over to this create section. And if you do the little drop down, you'll see even that has tons of options, from starting into the video editor or just doing a quick recording. You can create GIFs, podcasts. Really, there's so many options here. I'm going to be hopping into video, but one thing I kind of want you to see as we go through is, even though I'm going to take you into this video editor and kind of start from scratch, everything that I show you in WeVideo has almost like a jump start option. So if you didn't want to, kind of start from scratch and create your own video, but you still want to come away with a video asset to use for instruction, you can actually go to our templates and grab a video template to start with. So that's like a one jump start you can use. But I'll open up video here. This is the video editor. So if you're creating a video, maybe this is a read aloud for your students if you're kind of in that K-5 instructional or K-5 grades, or maybe it's a lab safety training video that you don't want to deliver, like 5 times throughout your day, but you want to create one for your students to watch on their own. Or maybe it's a lecture that you're creating and flipping your classroom, right? There's so many different ways that you can leverage this tool. If you don't already have that recording, you can take care of that right in here. So I'm in my project bin. These are really like the assets that you are bringing to the table here. So I can add, and I can upload a video I might have recorded somewhere else. I can record right here. We'll come back to this, but you can narrate. There's even a text to speech option. For ease and kind of our speed today, because I'm trying to give you a lot of information in maybe 45 minutes or less, I'm going to use an upload or recording I already have. I'm going to grab this one. So similar to if it was in your project bin, we're just going to drag and drop things down here to our different layers. That easy. And we can edit these down. I can drag this, I can move this over and split my clip if I want. And I'm going to make this uber short just for making sure that everything processes super quickly today. So I've pulled in my video recording. Let's say, you want to add in other videos that you haven't created. There's a huge amount of stock media footage here that to choose from. Like even if I was, having this video I'm creating on black holes for my science course, if I search that up, there's a lot of content you can see. So for anything you find here can be dragged to the bottom. You can see everything is super flexible to move around and make it your own. I can pull in images, again, searchable, huge library. I can pull in audio. So if I wanted to make this very inspiring video about black holes, I can pick one of those and put it into my audio section. Again, this looks like a huge audio clip, so I might take out that second portion. So it's if I can do it, you can do it. Being a former educator that didn't have a whole lot of time to make content, but I was teaching through the pandemic, creating my videos about measurement for fourth graders. If I can do it, you can do it. I did not have a whole lot of video expertise, but I was able to kind of figure this out on the go, which speaks volumes for this platform. If you continue down the list, you can see you can put in text, like I can put in some titles here and shorten that up. Everything you click on, you can edit. Yeah, and I can continue to add in. So if I wanted to record audio over this video, I could come back over to my project bin, pull in a narration, or I can even drop in the text that I want our AI voice to read out. Like such, and I can pick my voice that I want. So for example, hopefully my audio comes through here. Oh, yeah, less than one I meant to say, but we get the idea. And then we would drag that down. So once we have our video ready to go, I'm going to hit export here, give this a title. And I highly recommend toggling on this auto-generate subtitles. You can do this later too, but it makes it just a little bit simpler of a process. So this is going to put subtitles right into your video for you. So that's going to take a second to process. And from there, you can even change those subtitles into different languages and get started onto the next section, which I'm going to go through, which is making that video interactive. So rather than giving students this video, which is going to be rocking, it's going to be super awesome, you can actually make it highly accountable and even more engaging by adding questions to it. So you're making sure they're really understanding those learning objectives. So if I click on those subtitles, I can see those are working, and I can use this space to jumpstart into making it interactive. But while this is working, I'm just going to hit done and toggle on over to interactivity to kind of give you a quick glance on that side of things. So in interactivity, we're creating video lessons out of that video content that we either created, or maybe it's a YouTube Vimeo video, or maybe you have another host that you're using as well. So you don't necessarily have to create that to make a really great interactive video lesson. Let's go to create new interactive video, and I'll kind of show you how quick and easy this can be, especially with some latest updates. So the video that I just created about black holes is now living within this WeVideo section. This is where I pick the video source that I'm going to be using for this lesson. So again, it could be that video you just created, could be something that's living elsewhere too that you're going to pull in and use. Hopefully this is all ready to go. Oh, great. So at this point, there are two options we can choose from. We can manually generate the questions that we want to use for the lesson. We can also fast track this and generate interactions based on those subtitles that were just created by WeVideo. Here, you can pick how many questions you want. You can also specify the complexity of Bloom's taxonomy you want to be reflected in the question. And you can choose the types of questions that you want to be used as well. So like multiple choice, check all, etc. So it's pretty much that simple. We're going to get some questions and our lesson is ready to deliver. Great. And again, you can create your own questions too. You toggle by the interaction type, which there's so many more than we even saw when we were using the AI generated questions. You put in your question, your answer options, and you're off to the races. Um, so that's one way to kind of fast track creating a lesson out of your video content. There's other ways too. I told you WeVideo loves to like give you all these like easy ways to get jump started. There's a whole template gallery of questions you can pick from also. So I encourage you to explore that. But the next step here is once you have your questions ready, go to that review section. This is like your ticket out of the interactive video build process. And you can adjust your title. There's some different playback options which are really kind of neat to check out, like being able to rewind after an interaction appears. You know, maybe I don't want my students to be able to fast forward this video. A little different accountability settings and other things. But let's go ahead and save. And now that interactive video is right at the top for me. So, if you're using a learning management system, you can assign this right from there. But say you want to use the WeVideo classes and just have your students join the class to access this interactive video or the other creation tools I'm going to show you in a little bit. I would want to make sure first that there's a class created. Or actually now, I forget, we don't even have to do that first. We can do that right in the assignment process. But here are the classes that I've already created. I can do this ahead, or I suppose I can do this during that assign process here. So I'm going to assign it to my learners. I can give it a start and end date, or choose not to if I just want this to kind of be evergreen. And choose the class I want to assign it to, or create that new class. And assign. So here's that link that I can give them to view this bulb or this interactive video. All right, we're going to toggle back over to multimedia because I want to show you something kind of cool. The classes that you create over in interactivity are aligned here as well. So here's my class I just assigned that to. Here's that video ready for them. And there are different ways to add your students to this class. So you can add people with your invite code. You can put in them manually, just their email addresses. There's that import from Google Classroom as well. And so this is what they'll see when they hop in. All right, kind of switching gears. Those are a couple ways that you can do that instructor creation. So if you're responsible for creating and delivering that instructional content, right, those are going to be two great options for you. But say we actually want to put learners in that creation suite. I love giving students the chance to be creators because they're going to take away more ownership for their learning since they're always like consuming video content, but it's so fun for them to finally get to be in that driver's seat and see what it takes to maybe create that. And you can make it a collaborative process as well, which I think is a huge value add. So we're going to use that WeVideo classroom again, but kind of back to the idea of jump starting this process for you everywhere we go. There are these assignment ideas that I highly encourage you to check out. Once you open this up, you don't actually have to do a lot of creating of this assignment. You can pick something that's like a turnkey assignment ready to go for you. This is a huge library, so you can actually filter this down to the subject that you're wanting to teach, that grade level that it needs to be appropriate for. So if I'm teaching my science course for fourth grade, going back to my fourth grade roots here, I can filter that down. So maybe I want them to do a science explainer video, right? We've gone through this lesson. Now it's time for them to show that they're the experts in the room. I can click this one. And you'll see the beauty of this that is it comes with some pre-created directions for students. It comes with media that they can get started with. It's standards aligned. So many ways here are things for you to benefit from. And there's lots of tips that you can check out as well. Say I like this idea. I'm going to run with it. I can save this as a draft to my course. Awesome. And here it is ready to go. So I can click into this and actually edit anything about it. So I can come in and edit those directions if they're not exactly what I need. I can even record myself with instructions too. You can also edit the media, the starting blocks. So everything about this can be adjusted a little bit, or you can take it as is and assign this. You can do this individually, right? Like students can get into the project and start creating their explainer video. But maybe, I don't know, maybe you have a class of 30 people. Maybe I'll create 10 groups. So there's about 3 people collaborating on this project within a group. So you can create teams, you can give this a due date. And something that is really cool is there's this new class feed option. So in any assignment, you can actually toggle on class feed, which means they can see their peers' submissions at the time of your choosing. So once they've submitted it, it's right. It's not just like the end of the learning. They can get in there and learn from each other as well. So they can be the teachers in the room jigsawing that learning. There's some great accountability settings built in this too. So if they're all kind of doing the same explainer video, you probably don't want them to see their peers' submissions before they get started. So you can actually toggle this on so it kind of looks like no one's submitted yet until they themselves contribute, and then they can see their peers. You can also require that you approve them before they kind of get added to this feed. You can make this really continue to be a collaborative process and allow them to comment on their peer submissions. And again, you can decide if you want to approve those comments before they're visible to their peers. So that's one way that your students can get creating. But maybe that feels intimidating, right? Like maybe it's you don't want them to have access to the full video editor and you want it to be a quicker project, right? Maybe we just want learners to like show the whiteboard of the math problem that they've been working on and submit that to you. I've been there, right? Where you just want to like a quick exit ticket of them showing what they know and not necessarily this like project that feels like it might take a little bit more time. We've got something for you there too. So if you go to your little create drop down and to your assignments, this is one place you can find what's called quick recording. So if you open that up, let's say we want them to do just like their addition math demo. Let's say we're going to put in our directions, of course. We can record our directions also. And like maybe we give them access to the webcam so they can hold up their paper and show what they've been working on. Or maybe you want them to be able to show their screen instead. You can choose between those two. You can even choose the maximum duration. So you want them to keep it really short and sweet because there are those students that would go on forever if they could. You can limit the amount of time that they can record for. You can pull in a cover photo if you want, add a sample video as your exemplar, or we can just run with those directions, the duration, and go to next. So this is going to be for my math course. You can assign it to multiple courses at the same time if you want. Again, you can give that a due date, and you can turn on the class feed so they can learn from each other. Awesome. So those are, wow, I went through that way faster than I even thought I was going to. Those are some ways that you can create as an instructor, both video and interactive video lessons. We can get students creating within those assignment ideas or with the quick record. So a couple options to fit how much time you have for this activity. All right, and for just for reference, for that quick record, wanted to give you a little visualization. This is what it would look like from the students so they can see each other's submissions. So maybe they're doing those webcam reflections. Maybe they're just explaining their thinking on a problem. I loved doing this. But yeah, I think that's going to be a huge game changer. So resource takeaways for you all. You can scan this QR code, of course, but we have an incredible onboarding hub now. I'm not sure if you've gotten a chance to check that out. But I might actually pull that link over for everybody. Here is that onboarding hub. Oh, Ryan, you're awesome putting all these great resources in here. Thank you. So in there's a section for instructors and for administrators, but you can check out the multimedia creation. There's a part 1 and a part 2, classrooms, and interactivity, which are those interactive video lessons that you can create. And apart from Onboarding Hub, there's this whole assignment idea section, a support page, microlink courses, and of course, we have tons of webinars as well. Speaking of which, thank you for joining us today. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to support@wevideo.com if you don't get them answered here today. And thank you so much for joining. Oh, Ryan, is there anything else that you would want to add? Putting you on the spot. Oh, and thanks for putting the feedback form too. All right. Thanks all. Have a great rest of your week.